I think that the awareness of the full cycle of human experience, of people's experience of the urban environment and of our buildings is a much bigger part of the conversation than it ever has been before. So we like to talk about our projects being good citizens of the city at multiple scales. And we talk through the narrative of the person who's arriving into the city, who sees the building on the skyline, and then they experience it as they get closer. They see it at the district and the neighborhood level, and it's a somewhat different experience. Then they experience it at the sidewalk level as they transition into the building, cross that threshold. They go through the common shared spaces within the building, which are their own kind of community. Then they go up to maybe their office or their residential unit, which is private space. But then they go over to the window and they look back out and they're reconnected with that next person who's coming into the city. And it's this full cycle of the human experience of our cities. And I think that's what we really are talking about when we talk about vertical urbanism.
I think the big game-changing trend at the moment is going to be reuse of existing structures, repurposing them, rehabilitating them, extending what we already have rather than just a traditional demolish and rebuild. I think we've got to do that for sustainability.
Something we've been talking about here at the conference in terms of trends for the future of the industry, I believe is spot on when it comes to better over bigger. Obviously, we're going to continue to advance our technologies in building taller, but the repurposing of existing buildings and making buildings of lesser scale, but of just as much importance to their owner and to the community in which they reside, means that we have to focus all of our efforts and technologies towards making those buildings as good as they can possibly be.
I think stuff which is already happening, sustainable materials, difficult one for the UK, but certainly on a global basis, the use of timber. And we know that the majority of the research which the council is supporting and undertaking at the moment is timber related. I think the smarter construction, fully modular construction, and aligned to that, the use of robotics and AI in construction. I think taking the whole digital agenda to the next level. If you look over the last 100 years, there have been certain step changes which have sort of pushed the tall building typology forward, from facades and elevators, 100 years ago, to MEP systems, and then to a degree computer-aided design. But I think the next thing will be, the fully encompassing digitalization in design, in procurement, in construction, and actually in operation as well. I think we'll see that fairly soon.